And we're talking about a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, which, by the way, you do not need an ID to shop at.
It doesn't take much to convince a moron of a lie, especially if they're MAGA and it's a lie that they want to hear, like Zohran running businesses out of town, when the truth is so objectively good that if they hear it, that might undo all that brainwashing. So instead, all of the MAGA sphere has converged on some made-up story about checking IDs at the grocery store.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, Jeannie Pak, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Apparently, that clip that you just saw saying that they may have some sort of membership card was enough for the Trump Jr. employed Poly Market to throw out this lie that Mamdani has revealed IDs will be required. Of course, this is just to push their idiotic and sexist voter ID laws that are aimed at stripping married women and minorities of their voting rights, which is why every single MAGA influencer and politician jumped on this post to try to get a dunk off on Zohran. Everyone from Elon Musk to king of Medicare fraud, Rick Scott, were making post after post after post as if this is some sort of gotcha. The only problem is, it's absolutely not true. Zohran's head spokesperson here, Joe Calvello, came out and pretty much said immediately that it is not true. New York City grocery stores will be open to everyone. There will be no system to verify identity, residency, or income, and no one will be asked to show ID to shop. This is the dumbest and fakest online news cycle I have seen. As you can imagine, though, the truth means nothing to those whose paycheck depends on lies. Zohran had to come out on Joy Reid's show last night and specifically call out this ridiculous conspiracy theory.
And we're talking about a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, which, by the way, you do not need an ID to shop at, no matter what you've just heard in the news of today. We're talking about actually addressing the question of skyrocketing grocery prices. We've seen in the last 6 or 7 years alone an increase in grocery prices of around 30%. And we are going to be delivering a city-run grocery store, one in each borough, 5 in total, that will have the staples of a shopping experience, an essential basket of goods that are discounted by 30% compared to typical retail prices. And that is something that New Yorkers will be able to feel in their pocket. They'll be able to save hundreds of dollars on an annual basis, knowing that the city is looking to actually deliver for them on something that is a non-negotiable in their life, which is healthy and accessible food.
The irony of them trying to push this crazy narrative is that they'll just end up drawing more eyes onto Zohran's amazing plan. On top of that, they just sound idiotic. Complaining about means testing a grocery store in a food desert, like anyone from the Upper East Side is going to travel all the way down to Harlem to buy a truckload of bread for a 30% discount. MAGA media realized this is a silly tactic, though, so they're claiming that the program is actually anti-local business.
Government-owned grocery stores are coming to the Big Apple, and Mayor Mamdani says shoppers can expect a 30% discount on meat, seafood, and fresh produce like plantains.
This incredible example of produce in my hand.
Mayor Mamdani says city government is stepping in to make people's lives more affordable, but his plan is set to cost the taxpayers $70 million, and local bodega owners here in East Harlem say they're afraid they won't be able to compete.
I feel it's going to be bad for us.
When the government-owned grocery store opens, how do you think that'll impact sales here at your business?
The business is going to be slow because if they got a 30%,
They're not going to come in here.
These segments are so funny because you know that this guy hated having to go into these places to talk to brown people. The irony of interviewing a bunch of bodega owners about groceries is completely lost on them. Like, hey, moron, people in that neighborhood should not be forced to buy groceries at a bodega. That is not what a bodega is for. The fact that they have to is kind of the reason why they have a food desert there to begin with. Being focused on consumer-friendly, community-led projects are the pragmatic solution to food deserts, both in the city and in rural areas. This project, outside of Austin, Texas, mind you, is a community-owned co-op grocery store. The city invested $2.5 million to get the thing built, which allowed the local community to each purchase a lifelong household-tied share for $50. This means that the community directly owns the grocery store, making it resilient against a future conservative council, for example, and it's a framework for democratic socialism that works in red states like Texas. This is a different structure than Mamdani's city-owned stores in New York City, but the goal is the same: materially benefiting the lives of both the worker and the community at large. Mamdani's focus on that goal is why he's the thought leader of the Democratic Party right now.
Democrats are mimicking your rhetoric. I mean, I don't think I have heard a speech given by a Democrat or a statement without the word affordability in it. And they seem to be mimicking your rhetoric, seem to be trying to mimic your policies. Do you believe that despite all of the storm and drang about you, for whatever reason, that the party is moving in your direction? Do you feel the party writ large becoming more progressive?
Well, I am hopeful in seeing the recent results that we've seen here across New York City and also across the country, that the party is moving in the direction of the voters, because that's what we need to reflect. We need to reflect their concerns, their aspirations, their hopes, because for a long time, it feels like the party has more to say about what a consultant will draw up in a back room than what an actual working class person is looking for in that politics. And, you know, earlier I was speaking to you about LaGuardia and FDR. Those were the days when we looked at the Democratic Party and we understood what it stood for. We understood who it was fighting for. And we know that in this country, there is only one majority. It's the working class. And so much of what we're focused on in New York City, it's not actually particular to New York City. And what I mean by that is, as special as we are as New Yorkers, we know that the struggle to afford your rent, your childcare, your groceries, even your public transportation, that's a struggle that Americans are feeling across the country. And the more that we as a party can not only reflect that struggle in our focus, but also look to address those issues, I think the better we will be as a party, and the more faithful we will also be to why so many Americans joined this party in the first place.
This common sense sewer socialism is the key to convincing voters that democratic socialism isn't the authoritarian, bureaucratic hellhole that they've been sold. It's stuff like this, and planting trees, funding schools, making sure that neighbors have a place to buy good groceries. You can join the movement by subscribing to US Democratic Socialists and becoming a member. It's the best way to support our channel. And check out your local DSA chapter. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.